Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant. Welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time we somehow spent an entire episode trying to figure out all of the things that there were for us to do in Celadon City, except this one section down here, which was the one place that I imagine everybody wanted me to go because there's nothing else interesting to do here. Go to the Celadon City Pokémon Gym. And of course, the old man standing outside the gym full of girls. That isn't the least bit creepy. But it looks like HCB is ready to go, so let's give it a shot. Now, the reason why they force you to have Cut in order to get here is because the puzzle in this gym actually requires you to use Cut. And I want to say that this is the only gym that requires you to use an HM to get through it, although I'm pretty sure that you could at least use HMs in other gyms. I want to say this is the only one that outright requires you to. Don't quote me on that. I know Celadon isn't the only one. I want to say Cerulean also lets you surf, but the thing is, I don't know if it requires you to, or if it just gives you the option. I guess we'll find out when we get there. But I actually had to trade out somebody in order to get Leaky onto our party, because he's the one that has Cut, and I ultimately decided to put Crunch on hold for a little bit, because he's not going to be too much used to us in a grass gym, although he does have Ice Fang. He's just more of a risk to have on, and how in the world... I mean, I see Vileplume has, like, those little stumps for arms, but really? Okay, I want to be careful. I know both of these can outspeed the Vileplume and the Victory Bell, both of which evolve using the Leaf Stone. But which would be powerful enough to knock out what? I kind of want to leave Duster in to get the hit in, but I'm not sure if I want to leave him in and take the risk. I have a feeling Victory Bell may survive. So let's try... Let's put Klaus in there. I thought about bringing in Lupus, but if Vileplume happens to survive the Aerial Ace and gets off a Drain Punch, it would be super effective and do quite a bit of damage I do not want to take. But this might be the first Victory Bell we've seen so far. Victory Bell is the evolved form of Weepinbell, who we may or may not have seen before, which was the evolved form of Bellsprout we saw way early on. We saw way too many of those in the very beginning of the game. And HCB has the Guts Boost! Which means he's going to be wrecking things now, so I think I'll leave the poison on HCB and just let him destroy everything. But this is a strategy that you'll see mainly employed in stallish teams when you're battling competitively. Poison stalling! Where the thing will poison you and then just protect every other turn to rack up the poison damage. Which you can imagine is much more devastating if you're badly poisoned and that poison damage racks up more and more at the end of each turn. So I think I'll do my best to leave HCB poisoned but not let him die, just to show you how helpful it could be to have that boost sometimes. So let's see, there's nowhere else for us to go here. I want to say we can advance around this way. Before we get into the battle there, I will heal up. And let's move on to our next fight here. I think a lot of these aren't necessarily required, but I don't mind, you know, getting the experience and showing off all the things that the grass types have to offer, because, let's be honest, it's not too much. But this is the first time I've been recording in several weeks, and the reason for that, for those of you who didn't watch the anniversary montage for whatever reason you didn't, is because I've been sick! And it wasn't until I actually went through the videos for that montage that I realized I was sick with almost the exact same thing at the exact same time of the year last year. Where Twilight Princess, I was going into the Arbiter's grounds and I started feeling like I was getting sick, like I had that scratchiness in the back of my throat, and I mean, ever since I went to college, I felt that I can always tell when a cold is coming on. I have the symptoms going in, but it's not like the runny nose or anything, it's just the scratchiness of the throat and maybe a little bit of dizziness, lightheadedness that I know I'm getting sick. and I like to think if I get enough rest that I can sleep it off, but I think I'm finding that I just aren't able to, so there are a couple of days I have to deal with it, and then this year in particular, I just had to deal with, for the first time, I completely lost my voice. Like, I just simply could not talk, and of course that doesn't bode well for making Let's Play videos, but I think it's the first time I ever really had to deal with that. Like, I can't remember the last time I didn't have a voice. And it's weird for me because I'm usually not the most vocal person in the world. I don't have too much to say outside of these videos, really. I kind of keep to myself. But even for somebody like me, it's really weird to not be able to talk. And even if you don't say very much, you'd be surprised as to just how much communication you do with your voice and talking to other people. That it's extremely difficult. Why would you put up a light screen on a physical Heracross? To communicate without using your voice, if you're not used to communicating non-vocally. So that was kind of interesting to deal with. But I just felt kind of weird that going through the videos, I realized that I was sick with the exact same thing the exact same time last year. To the point where, when I was going through Snow Peak Ruins, that I thought I was completely healed from my cold, but then all of a sudden, like halfway through it, I started having coughing fits that I don't think were captured in the video because I cut them all out. But I'm hoping that I've given myself at least enough days after the fact with the cold that I am not going to have those coughing fits now. But time will tell. At least with these Pokemon videos, unlike the Zelda dungeons, I'm not recording like 2 hours all at once without being able to cut. I mean, here if I need a break, I can just either pause the game or after a segment just stop, give myself time to catch my breath. And, you know, I'm wondering if other people have the same thing. Like, if you get sick with the same kind of bug the same time of the year. Because I get the feeling that a lot of people tend to get sick during the change of the seasons, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. I'm sure there's a scientific reason for it. But Carnivine, grass type, I'm not sure if it's from Hoenn or Sinnoh, but either way, it's not the most memorable grass type in the world, aside from the fact that it's a flying Venus flytrap or something. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be, but it's definitely weird. I wouldn't even know where to find it if I was playing the 3rd or the 4th generation games. But it's one of those things that you just do not forget once you see it once. And I want to say that should do it for all of the trainers in here. I might want to keep Heracross Poison just so I could get that boost from the Guts ability. Which means we probably don't have to run back to heal up. It was really nice that I was actually poisoned, because that's going to make it so much easier to get through here. I was thinking that I'd at least at some point be sending in Lupus, because, you know, grass types are weak to fire. But I think I'll at least save him for here, because Erika actually specializes in using a particular move that's very helpful for her team. Do I want to use that berry juice right now? I don't know why I'm using, like, potions and stuff to heal up if I have the berries for it. But she does boost her team's ability. No, you know what? We'll get into it when we actually fight her. Erika, she's got 4 Pokemon, she's going to lead off with a Jumpluff, Grass Flying type. This thing likes to set up a sunny day, assuming that it can do a couple of other things before. The main thing behind her team is that most, if not all of her Pokemon have the ability Chlorophyll, which boosts their speed in the sun. Now, this is a double-edged sword in that all of her Pokemon are weak to the fire type. So if you have a sunny day set up, fire type moves are doubled. So pretty much any move you use against these things that's fire based is going to knock them out in one turn. So it's definitely a bit of give and take there. It doesn't look like she's going to be doing that, although I'm not sure how much she expects to get off of the Giga Drain. I want to say we quad resist it, but I'm not sure if fighting resists grass. Either way, Jumpluff down. I was really hoping that the poison would boost his attack more than it actually has been. It doesn't seem like it's doing as much as I was hoping it would be. Victory, but you know what? Let's leave HCB in for as long as possible and then go to Lupus as our ace in the hole. But her Victory Bell, I want to say, is her strongest Pokemon, level 56. Nothing to sneeze at. But there's the sunny day, and now she's probably going to be outspeeding my team. But this also allows her to use Solar Beam in a single turn if any of her Pokemon have it, although I am not sure if any of them do. Leaf Storm is a very powerful Grass-type move that lowers the user's special attack 2 stages after use. So even though she just knocked out my Heracross, she's ripe for the picking. So let's see if Duster can pick it off with an Ice Beam. Probably can't, but I'd at least like to see Duster do something very useful for a change. Not that he's not good for anything. Grass Knot is another interesting Grass-type move that does more damage depending on how heavy the opponent is. The heavier the opponent, the greater the damage from Grass Knot. And that's a hell of a lot of experience for Duster. Way to go, Duster! But the sunny day is still going to be up for another couple of turns. Blossom! The other evolution of Gloom, who we saw very early on, but I just want to remind you that you evolve this thing using a Sunstone instead of a Leaf Stone. Leaf Stone gives you Vileplume, Sunstone gives you Blossom. I forgot how powerful Blossom was! So they've still got one turn of Sun. I say we make good use of it and send in Lupus. And pray that this Fire Blast doesn't miss. But Blossom's surprisingly powerful on the special side, both attack-wise and special defense-wise, and that did a lot more damage than I thought, because it was a crit. Thank goodness that hit. Now, normally I'd be afraid of Fire Blast not OHKOing the Blossom, but doubled in power in the Sun, it should be an easy one-hit kill. So now the only thing we have left to deal with is her last Pokemon, Tangela. Now this thing should be slower than us since it is no longer boosted in speed by the sunny day. So if this Fire Blast hits, we should be in the clear. Of course, Tangela being more physically defensive and specially defensive shouldn't be able to take this Fire Blast either, especially since it's Charcoal boosted. And that battle was slightly more challenging than I thought it would be. But I kind of wanted to ride the Guts-boosted Heracross as much as I possibly could. And with that, we get ourselves the Rainbow Badge from the Celadon City Gym. And in addition to that, Erika's going to give us the TM for Giga Drain. TM19. Now this is an interestingly powerful Grass-type move that saps the energy of the Pokemon that it was used against. I want to say 50% of the damage that you do to the Pokemon will be used to heal you, but I'm not entirely sure on that number. I do know that Giga Drain was boosted in power in the 5th generation, though, which made it a very powerful move, especially considering how much damage that you would heal off when you used it. And that should do it for this gym, assuming that I can figure out how to get out of it, because admittedly, this gym is a bit of a maze, and I have difficulty actually getting through it. But now that we've gone through the Celadon gym, that should do it for everything we have to do here. Next time, we'll head to the west, down Cycling Road, and make our way towards Fuchsia City. This is UniversalGiant. And Lupus isn't feeling too well. So I'll go heal him up and meet you out here next time.